Okay, so for the recording, quick recap. We have DNA. Its shape is a double helix. A helix is a spiral. The double helix is a twisted ladder. Here's one of the strands. It's made of many single units. Those single units are known as monomers. And the entire thing, when all the monomers join together, you get a polymer, because mono means one and poly means many. Okay, so that was for the purpose of the recording. And if you missed anything. All right. Now, the DNA monomer is called a nucleotide, just like the protein monomer was called an amino acid. Nucleotide. So here's our DNA strand, that's our polymer, and there is a single monomer, and they all line up together. And a nucleotide is actually made of 3 parts. This gray rectangle here is actually made up of, we've got a circle part, and that is a phosphate. Okay, so the circle part is a phosphate. Write that down. Circle part is a phosphate. The sticky-outy part is called a base. So we have the phosphate, we have the base, and there is a third part of the nucleotide, and that is the sugar. Okay, and if you're interested in doing the enriched, that particular type of sugar is called deoxyribose. But if you're not interested in doing the enriched, you don't need to know that. Do you guys know the name of table sugar? It starts with su. Sucrose. Has anyone heard of sucrose? Anyone heard of glucose? Lactose? Okay. All of those are sugars. What do their names all have in common? Ose. So if you hear the ending ose, oh, there we go. Ose is the name ending for sugars. And again, that is an enriched sort of a thing. So if you don't care, you don't have to write that down. Okay? So can you see how DNA got part of its name from its sugar? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, because it's based on the deoxyribose sugar. So we have those 3 things. We have the phosphate, we have the sugar, and we have the base. So the phosphate is usually shown as a circle. The sugar is usually shown as a pentagon. And the reason that it is shown as a pentagon is because the actual sugar has 5 carbons all attached together in a circle. Well, in a pentagon. So this nucleotide, here we go, we have the phosphate, we have the sugar, we have the base. And they're all kind of drawn on a little angle. So if you wanted to draw a pentagon, I'm using this from last year. I don't know why I'm using last year's, but one thing that I'd like you to do right now, because it can be a little bit challenging, is to actually practice drawing a pentagon. And I'm going to show you how I do it. So I make like a little roof shape. Okay? I make like a little roof shape, and then I draw not towards the middle, but just a very shallow angle downward. Practice drawing it. You're going to have to draw one on your quiz on Friday, okay? Thursday. So draw a little house shape, but instead of the walls going straight down, the walls are going to kind of come in a little bit, and then you draw the base. I would like you to draw 5 pentagons right now, okay? Draw 5 pentagons. I'm going to come and see your pentagons, see if they're looking okay. That looks all right. Yeah. Good. You can draw more than 5 if you're finding it tricky, just practice them. That's looking all right, yeah. Oh, that was really good there. So this is
I lost 2 of those.
That's actually not bad. Yeah. That was pretty good. Good. Those are pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay. Good job, guys. All right. Now that you can draw a pentagon, we are going to practice drawing an entire, what do we call this whole thing? That is a nucleotide. So we're going to practice drawing the whole thing. And to make life simpler, you don't have to draw it on an angle. You can just draw it like your little pentagon. And you can have a line going straight up. And you can have your phosphate there. And you can have a line coming straight out the side. And you can have your base. So draw a pentagon. One line comes out the top. One line goes out the side. Circle on the top. Rectangle on the side. Phosphate, sugar, base. The end does not have to be rounded. You can draw it as square, you can draw it as rounded, you can draw it as a triangle, it doesn't matter, okay? Because really it looks nothing like a rectangle or a rounded one. Okay? Next page. For all the nucleotides, the sugar and the phosphate are the same. So you can see here, sugar, phosphate, those are the same. However, if we look at the bases, and you can see actually if we go down here, this is the same, this is the Same. That's all the same. Same. But let's look at the bases. Are the bases the same? No, it is the bases that have the letters A, T, C, and G. Okay? And you'll notice that A looks like a triangle. T looks like a triangle, but going the other way. And that's because A pairs with T, and C is a little inward half circle, and G is a little outward half circle. And that's because C pairs with G. Do you guys remember the little memory device we used to help remember that? Apples go in the tree, and the car goes in the garage. Excellent. Okay. That means that there are 4 different types of nucleotides, each one with a different base. Let's see how these 2 nucleotides combine to form a polymer. So we have 2 nucleotides here. Okay, 2 nucleotides. And what we get is we get a bond. So the sugar of one nucleotide bonds to the phosphate of the second nucleotide. Sugar phosphate, sugar phosphate, sugar phosphate. What do we call the thing that goes down our back that keeps us nice and straight and upright? Spine. We call it a spine. We also call it a, starts with a B, backbone. Yeah? What keeps the DNA nice and supported is another kind of backbone. What is that backbone made of? What is this backbone made of? Sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate. Yes? So therefore, we call this whole thing the sugar phosphate backbone. Make sure you've labeled that. Write it down. Yes. Yep. The sugar phosphate backbone makes up the sides of the DNA ladder. So let's practice drawing a couple of nucleotides stuck together, but we're going to simplify it because we don't want to do that leaning to the side thing because it makes it difficult. Okay? So we're going to start with a phosphate. Okay, so we're going to practice drawing down here. Phosphate, little circle. Go straight down from it and draw a pentagon. That's your sugar. What sticks out the side of the sugar? Base. What if we wanted to attach another one to it? We'll just draw a line going straight down. And then we draw a phosphate. We'll draw a sugar. See, my drawings aren't very good either. So if you're feeling bad about your pentagons, look at that one I just drew. It's like all wibbly wobbly. I don't know. Anyway, so we got a sugar, and then we've got a base. And you could keep drawing that and drawing that, but I think 2 is probably enough for you to get the idea. Okay. All right. The long chains of sugars and phosphates are called the sugar-phosphate backbone. We're now on our next page. One long chain, sugar-phosphate backbone, down, down, down. And if we wanted to highlight the sugar-phosphate backbone on the actual, what do we call this shape here? That is our double helix. If we wanted to highlight the sugar-phosphate backbone on the double helix, we would go along here. So see if you can just trace your pen or your pencil along the sugar-phosphate backbone. If you've got a highlighter, that's great. If not, you can just trace along it with your pencil. Okay? And the nice thing about that sugar-phosphate bond is that the bonds are really strong, and so it protects the bases. And why are the bases important? Absolutely, they store the information. Did you have your hand up earlier? No, you're okay. All right. So they store the information, so we got to protect it. So that sugar-phosphate backbone protects the bases that are on the inside. Are you good? You good? Okay, cool. Just making sure. All right. All right. Now the bases, sorry, I'll leave that up there for a minute. You guys can make sure you get a copy down. Okay. So the bases all stick out the side. And the rungs of the ladder. What do we mean when we say the rungs of the ladder? We're on the next page now. They're the part that goes across. They're like the things you grab onto. Yeah? What are the rungs? These things, right? So if we draw a little ladder, There's our sides of the ladder. These little side-to-side bits, those are the rungs. And those are made of bases. What are the 4 bases? A, T, C, G. Okay. Ooh, does anyone know what those stand for? A stands for adenine. T stands for thymine. C stands for cytosine, and like cytoplasm, right? And G stands for guanine. I wonder if that has anything to do with bat poop. Bat poop is called guano. So I'm just wondering if guanine is a compound found in bat poop. It could be. You never know. Now, I want you to just take a look at this for a second. I'm going to erase this here. What do you notice about the sugar and the phosphate on this side compared with the sugar and phosphate on the other side? It's upside down, right? Upside down. So what we actually call that, there is a biological term for that where one goes in this direction and one goes in that direction. We'll say this one goes down and this one goes up. We call that, now they are parallel to one another, yes? But if one is turned upside down, we call it anti-parallel.
I told you.
So they're parallel, but one is upside down. And if you take biology 12, you'll learn the whole numbering system. There's a 3 end and a 5 end and things like that, but we don't need to worry about that. Now, the nice thing is that because you get to make a cheat sheet for this quiz, if you choose to put those enriched things on there, they will be on your cheat sheet. So you can get some enriched credit. You get double enriched credit if you do the quiz without your cheat sheet. But I will say that if the vocabulary is difficult, just go with the cheat sheet for the first while, okay? The closer we get to the test, the more times you will have used the words, right? It's hard to remember words within the first week of learning them, right? It's just difficult. So don't stress about it. There are no rewrites on the quiz because you have a cheat sheet. Okay, so this quiz, there's no rewrites. So if you come with no cheat sheet, what will you do? You will cry or be very sad, or you'll just remember everything and be like, hey, I'm okay. But, those are not necessarily your best options. Okay. Now, here we have, you can see we've got the pointy bit going together with the pointy bit, and in between, see that dashed line there? In between the base on side A and in between the base on side B, those dashed lines, that right there is called a hydrogen bond. And we're going to star that. That is a hydrogen bond. hydrogen bond. I like to call it the Goldilocks of bonds. Do you guys know the story of Goldilocks and the three bears? Do you guys know it? Goldilocks and the three bears? So Goldilocks comes to the three bears go out for a walk and leave their porridge in their little house. You guys know the story? Yes? Okay, so you know that the porridge is either too hot or too cold or just right. In this case, the hydrogen bond is neither too strong nor too weak, but it is just right. Okay? It is an intermolecular force, if you remember that term from before. And if you want to do the enriched part, you can explain that they are the perfect type of bond because they are strong enough to hold the two strands of DNA together, right? Because you don't want it just flying apart. But they're weak enough to break apart. Do you remember when we make those partial copies of the DNA? What do we call those partial copies of the DNA? Those are RNA. In order to make that copy, the two strands of DNA have to separate so that the bases are exposed so you can make a copy. If these bonds holding the two strands together were too strong, it wouldn't be able to do that. But if they were too weak, they'd fly apart and it would all be wibbly wobbly, icky, and it could break very easily, and that would be a problem. Okay? And we're going to leave it there for today, other than we're going to introduce one more new word, and that word is complementary. Complementary means matching up perfectly. So somebody might say to you, oh, that shirt really complements your eyes. That means that shirt really goes with your eye color very well. It pairs up perfectly. Or you might say, a nice cup of coffee really complements a chocolate chip cookie. Ooh, because they go so well together, right? Ooh, this piece of cake is complemented very well by a scoop of ice cream. They go really well together. So A and T are complementary. They pair up well with each other. C and G are complementary. They pair up well with each other. Okay. And we're going to leave it there because you guys have listened to me rattle on for long enough. So you could right now finish off this one. So that would be pages 27 and 28. And would anyone like to go out for a little quick walk outside? Yes? If you would like to come for a quick walk outside, come with me. All right. Otherwise, stay here. You can relax for a few minutes or you can get started on your work right away. It's up to you. Yeah, come on outside. It's good for you. It'll get your brain working, your blood flowing.
Oh, it's good for my health. Just start my teaching. Yeah, and quite often, I just want to like hold that. I need to show my okay. This part, large stuff. And, oh, and then there's like this one. Sounds like
Are they waiting for you to go up 900 feet? They're gonna find me every day. Work. Have you been to it's close by, I think, right? I don't remember the rap.
no, I think I just want to watch it.
Yeah, one when I read it, but one. Oh, swear I had it here.
We learned that yesterday.
I knew something weird. I knew. No, it's not. Yeah, it really gets me. This is just always double one summer.
Why the
I'm fine with my middle arm. Yeah, you definitely have a little eye. I can barely see verticals. No. You all have to.
Yes. Why? Because you have an AP exam? I'll move it for you. Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. I'll have time to write.
AP is different. Everything revolves around that. Yeah. I'll where's the delay? I mean, it's both RNA. Oh, DNA. RNA makes proteins make cells. Cells make tissues. Tissues make organs. That's what it does. I did, but I made it like 4 years ago now. So.
Oh,
Yeah. Sometimes I forget exactly which way. Especially if I'm
Take it back. This isn't mine. Why did you do this?
I don't think I may think that is synthesis. Oh, yeah, that's why.
All things on.
They already. Cells. Cells.
That is not where you put like.
Yes, I.
Salt here. broken down like this. What is that? Your stomach, yeah. Muscle cells and into your stomach. She cells. All. That's why. As the person, it's not fun, especially at night, so here, make your face. In case I wake up and I'm like,
Yeah, that'd probably.
maybe, they probably. Very much. I'll have this marked for you.
What is
All right. So DNA, my DNA.
what is that
Yes. RNA
made out of base?
Yes.
What is
Hello.
this part? That's the
Something else is a chain that is inflation.
oh, this part is phosphate back.
I don't know if this is
It's not.
the brain and I were really good. This cells and tissues. Tissues, right? Organs are
This is what is the
DNA comes in instructions for how to put together amino acids. It's too much in plasma.
okay.
What is just like there's pores in your skin that sweat. Protein. Yes. It's just the it's just like RNA where it's just like in
I think there's two opening one has called I'm not
choose one part of ribosome
oh my god.
it's just yeah, inspired.
Okay, no.
Like,
Okay, that's Jackson.
And like I can't see this. Order it online. Yes. Inspired. All one thing. Well, I saw the little exercise in the container. I'm like, you know,
I did not remember this.
yeah. I really like this.
Which base is on? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, for this, we have money.
The letters, hope is written.
Oh, you want to do actual soul master? Process really RNA copy is made. So we have the DNA, and we make that RNA copy, and that process is called transcription.
This button also breaking on. Why a series of steps
Yeah. Yeah, usually. How many strands does DNA actually see? How many strands make up the DNA? It does feel interesting. Let me look at your part a little bit. How many strands? So you count each side of the arc. Well, actually, one strand, two strands. And then if you look at the RNA,
You will be back.
Yeah, like, yeah.
It comes from the in order to get like all the steps, so you want to start from the beginning. So, so here's your DNA. We get a partial copies of RNA. The RNA. Yes, it's important. And oh, yeah. I'm just gonna yeah. Very good. The DNA is copied by the RNA. Yeah. Oh, okay, so its location DNA is located in the yeah, because everything it was now, I didn't lost it. No, I didn't had it. Logan, so picture the wall itself is now. Okay, so there are three types of products. mRNA is necessary. It's not, it's a molecule that breaks the
Probably.
mRNA is just a copy of a protein. Yeah.
Luke.
Protein and you don't get it. The type of RNA that makes up the ribosomes. All I know. Chicken and water. Most of them are
I used to really like the RNA.
Not chill.
Hello. I need a pen. There we go. Where are you going? When are you going?
Poland, the third. 11th. Sorry.
Okay. Period 2. And that's science. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Hi. How you doing? You're all. How'd it go? What can you do? Hopefully pass. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Closed. Yep.